Get this on the Triple M network.
Just before the weekend.
What time?
The weekend.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, kids. Update your Facebook. Wear some culottes. Wave a glow stick. Make a blancmange. Try to get some action.
Paint some China figurines of characters from Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah. Play some Warcraft.
Go outside and make a vintage car out of cheese.
Throw your hands up like you vaguely care.
Go and see all of the Hilary Duff films in alphabetical order and work out when her teeth turn into tiny surfboards.
Wade through a creek.
That's what you like to do. Wade through a creek.
Yeah.
And while you're
Catch
there,
rocks with your hands.
while you're at the creek, don't forget to throw all the leaflets that you're meant to be delivering to the neighbourhood in there. 'Cause that's what we used to do with them.
Bang. Woo!
Okay, we're really across what the young people are into. Today we can find out if that's true because we have a young person in the room. Andrew, do you want to come over to the microphone?
Hey,
Just step
come
over
over
here.
Andrew.
That's right. We often have work experience kiddies in the studio. I don't
Do we?
know
What?
they're hoping to learn.
Slow moving work
Pull
experience.
up a dodgy ergonomic, whack on those headphones.
When
You'll
you're ready,
find that
son.
you'll be deaf in about 30 seconds. But did you send us this fabulous poster?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a Year 10 student from Hunting Tower School in Mount Waverley in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
What's the action down there? Knives, crystal meth? Is that what goes on?
We like to keep it to the blood knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We talking.
We don't cut, we just bash.
Yeah, that's all
Just
right.
bashing,
Are
right?
we talking co-ed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? You got a girlfriend?
No.
How long's it been?
16 years.
Yeah, man.
Wow, what
I
a
hear
drought.
that.
What a drought. I know that. I know all about that.
Now, how did you end up in here? You've done this a magnificent poster, obviously. Morty, is that your nickname at school?
One of them.
One of them. Do you want to take us through the others?
Mort.
Yeah.
Morton. M sometimes.
They're an inventive bunch over at your
Yeah.
school. They really put some thought into these bad boys.
Doesn't Mort mean dead? I think that's probably not a good nickname.
No, you don't
I
want
think.
that.
Yeah, it's dead in French.
Ooh la la. Have
What
been
other
paying attention,
Okay.
have we?
Well, do you do French at school?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, you just
You
know.
Struggle enough with English.
You just know
Yeah.
French because it's the language of love.
Mm.
Yeah. French. I did French for 2 years at school.
How'd you go?
This is what I learned.
Oh, yeah.
Monsieur Lafayette
Yeah.
is in the garden
Yes.
with John Paul, constantly out there. Don't know what they're up to. And incidentally, the keys are on the sideboard. Le clef, c'est sur le bureau.
Yeah.
It's really hard to weave it into conversation.
Everywhere, French listeners just then went, what?
Where's
Dear.
the keys?
Okay, what is...
So you emo?
No.
Skater?
No.
Gangster? Baller?
No.
Player? Hater? Good stuff. All right, we're down now. We are down.
We certainly are
All right,
across what the
sweet.
young people are into. Oh, look, Darren McKee has just warned us that Caddyshack is $4.97 at Video Easy at the moment.
Yeah, but Tone, what did you say was wrong with that?
It's not the 20th anniversary edition, which is only available in Region 1, but I think I can condone it for $4.97. I believe it's in the correct aspect ratio, and the 20th anniversary doesn't have a commentary track, and the documentary's a little bit below par.
There we go, kids. So you can spend that $4.
Yeah,
We feel okay about
we
it.
can
$4.97 for Caddyshack.
Look, it's a lot of gags for $4.97.
Yeah.
How old are you, Andrew?
16.
Do you know what Caddyshack is?
No.
No idea. Okay. See, now Ed feels old.
Andrew, what are you doing? Spending all your time watching The Perfect Catch with Hilary Doof? You've never seen Caddyshack?
Never.
Okay. What are the hot movies
What are you watching at the
amongst your
moment?
demographic?
The Bourne series.
What about comedy, though? What do the kids get a laugh out of?
Which probably at the moment I really like Monty Python.
Really?
Yeah, still
Now
laugh.
we're getting somewhere.
That's
Good
old dear.
job.
Yeah.
What about the Superbad? Are they going for that?
No, I haven't seen it. A few of my friends have seen it. They said it's really good, but I haven't seen it yet.
I like
good,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
What other ones have been out recently? Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Is that popular?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That
We
took
must-
off, did it? I missed that boat.
They're going to go back. I know they're going to go back to White Castle. I just get the feeling they are.
Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Hey,
of
you seen that
course,
bad boy? Planes, Trains and Automobiles?
No.
Yeah, so you know what that's
Bro.
like? That's like when my parents used to tell me to go and watch the Frank Capra movies.
It might hold up. Some kind of wonderful.
I don't.
Pretty in Pink.
Don't make them do.
Breakfast Club.
Don't do that to
No.
them.
Weird
Oh,
Science.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
have seen that.
The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Yeah. See, what are you doing?
Kids of today. Hey? Kids of today.
Good day for you to be here,
Too many fringes.
Andrew, because we're talking mad marriage proposals.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that?
Listen to this, Andrew and the other two. A movie fan got the shock of her life when she found herself watching a giant image of her boyfriend propose to her on a cinema screen. Someone, 24 years old, was sitting down to enjoy the new Pirates of the Caribbean film when her lover showed up on the screen.
I remember. That was a weird scene, wasn't it, when that happened?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when that happened.
Squid face proposing. I was completely in shock, just overwhelmed. 1 minute we were sitting in our seats, blah, 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 and the next blah, blah, blah. I said yes, it was romantic, rah, 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 and then she cried her eyes out.
Yeah, of course.
So, there we go. That's quite, unusual.
Does that mean that the movie is somewhat ruined for everyone else who's sitting there in the cinema?
This is my point.
Those who have gone along in pirate costume, I imagine, would be enraged.
But those in wedding dresses loved it.
Okay, so
it's got a mad marriage proposals now.
Yeah, I'm just looking around the room. I'm the only married one on a microphone here. I can't remember if there was a... See, this is shocking, but...
You didn't propose, Tone?
See, it was a joke for years that we would get married. And
for you, it was a joke.
Suddenly we were in Las Vegas and then we were actually married. And actually pinpointing the moment when there was a proposal is... We need to go through the black box recording at our house.
Really?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Richard, how do you imagine you'd propose to your current girlfriend?
Well, I haven't imagined it. I'm trying to think of a creative way that I could perhaps...
Because I am cold-hearted, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, the listeners certainly think that.
And this is, to me,
Yeah.
I don't know what you reckon, Andrew, but this is annoying. This is a waste of time in the movies. It's like when you go to a sporting event and you're happily enjoying some cricket or something or another. All of a sudden, some clown's up on the big screen proposing to Michelle, who he's loved dearly for 8 years. I don't care.
People love that.
I have a friend who proposed to his girlfriend scuba diving, and he had rigged up the message saying, "Will you marry me?"
On a spear gun?
Underneath a rock.
On a manta ray.
Underneath a rock. So when they went exploring, it was quite beautiful, apparently.
Yeah, sure it was.
Did he follow through with the underwater wedding? Did he have all that?
Should have.
That's right. I remember have you seen people getting... Oh, no, we'll do actual weddings another time. But
okay.
the parachute wedding, that is a fantastic lot.
That's all right.
Have you seen the footage of the people getting married falling to earth? The best bit is when the best man with the ring just swoops in from the side. Andrew, obviously kids at school, are they getting married younger and younger? Is anyone married in your class?
Not yet.
Okay, so they're fine with teenage pregnancy, but actually doing the right thing, no.
Ooh, Tone.
Okay.
Turned on him. All right. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Give us a call.
Yeah. We haven't mentioned our producer, Nikki. Obviously, she's married. And is it true that your husband proposed to you by just slamming into you at an intersection?
That's how we met.
Was there a
But he
romantic...
stopped.
Is there anything you want to say? You don't have to say on here if you don't want to, but is there anything proposal-wise that we should know about?
Do you know, ours was a little bit boring, I would say.
Yeah, must have been boring as.
Okay,
We were in a car. We were in a car and he proposed, but we got married in New York. We didn't tell anyone.
see, that's cool.
That's pretty.
The runaway. Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful story. Childhood sweethearts as well. Do you mind?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
so we've been together more than half of our lives.
Look at that.
All right. Well, a
That's
3-pack
nice.
of CDs for the happy couple. As for the listeners, call us up. Tell us about your interesting proposal.
G'day, Peter.
G'day, mate.
What happened?
Went down on one knee, proposed to my girlfriend in front of the big Merino at Goulburn.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. What a beautiful moment.
Front end or back end?
Right, the front end, the back end's a bit,
There.
bit of a lad at the back end.
Yeah.
That would be
There
ridiculous.
was other
Big
people
boy.
doing it. That's great, Peter, and it's all going nicely, is it?
Yeah, see, I think I didn't really think it through because now everything we do has to be kind of sheep related.
Right.
We have some kind of a sheep thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't go along to a comedy venue and announce you're from New Zealand. Then you'll get a lot of ideas for sheep-related activity, I can tell you. All right, that's pretty good.
That's really good, Peter.
In front of one of our many big objects here in Australia.
That's, yeah.
So many to choose from.
What are you thinking? You're just thinking of all the shanks that you can cut off at
Well,
the sheep.
Ed's drooling.
Thinking of all the roast lambs.
G'day, Pat, how are you?
I was in the middle of playing Tomb Raider,
Oh, yes.
and my girlfriend walked in, and she just said, "You're going to propose to me?" And well, I had to pause it and said, "Yeah, well, how about it?"
That's gorgeous, Pat. You know, the other thing which is shocking about this is that the man that plays Tomb Raider has a girlfriend. Well done.
What was her reaction?
She was over the moon,
Hey, power up.
and I went back to playing my game.
As well you should.
course.
As well you should. We'll consummate this later. I've got to kill these wolves.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we go more romantic, Ed?
Hi, Sophie. How are you?
Yeah, my husband really wanted to surprise me, so he took me to the local video shop and
Oh.
told me I could pick whatever video I wanted. And then every video I picked, he told me it was shit. So I got really, really cranky and stormed out of the video shop, and then he proposed because he said I was really surprised then we'd had a fight and I didn't expect it.
Gee, hang on a sec. So he didn't mean to propose to you at the video shop. That wasn't his plan.
No, that was his plan.
Oh, that was his plan.
Yeah, if I get a really, really cranky, she won't expect it, and then I'll propose.
Gee, okay.
Not bad.
And have the mind games continued ever since, well into the
Oh,
marriage?
yeah. It's very fun and challenging, that's for sure.
Oh, wow. I think I'm related to you. I just know I am.
Could well be.
And obviously, if, I don't want to suggest that it will happen, but if the time comes for divorce, obviously that could be negotiated down at Video Easy as well.
Be nice.
Oh, he'd probably take me out to dinner and propose that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, something nice and romantic.
Well, I'd be surprised.
No, you would, Sophie. Well, it's a nice relationship.
Author Andy Griffiths is with us today. Just Shocking is in the shops now. Every time you come in, we ask you this question. When is the movie of the day my bum went psycho coming out? Surely. I know it's been optioned.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now.
Is it just too much of a challenge for the animators to get that many bums in sync with each other?
I wouldn't think so, but I think that it's the will. I don't think they have the will to do this.
But we've got now, wasn't Happy Feet that was made here in Australia?
Yes,
we can do that Pixar gear.
Crappy feet.
Oh, hang on.
No, Andy. I think our parent company might have had something to do with it.
Right.
Yeah, I think Ed has hit the nail on the head because I remember last year when Happy Feet was still in development, there were a lot of executives walking around here going, there's a lot riding on these dancing penguins.
They better be good.
These penguins better come through.
Poor old penguins.
All right, enough about dancing penguins.
I'd have exploding penguins.
Of course
I think
you
that
would.
was their mistake.
Just want to mention a news story we didn't get to during the week. Did you know we have a space program here in Australia,
No.
Andy?
Oh, no.
No, I didn't know we did either.
What have
but
we discovered?
scientists have called upon the federal government to provide $100 million
Whoa.
over 10 years to help launch an Australian space program. I think we've got the logo done. Now we just need the program
Got some
itself.
polo shirts.
But what sort of stuff could we do that, other countries with more money haven't done? Listen to this. This is what we want to do. The Sundiver. A mission to send the first spacecraft ever crashing into the sun, beating NASA and the European Space Agency. The craft would then send data back to Earth before burning up. $100 million to crash something into the sun. Is that a good investment?
I think so. That could be a great explosion.
It could be great.
Imagine it.
It'd be looking good.
I can do it for $29.95. Massive slingshot. Little Kinder Surprise. Boom, she's in.
What's the data going to be? Oh, it's getting hot.
Ooh.
What's that big orange thing? Oh, I think we're about to explode. Bang! $100 million. Worth every penny.
Congratulations, everyone.
I just
Job
think,
well done.
stop chucking stuff at the... Don't go poking at the sun. That's like poking at an ant's nest.
Yeah, it'll be back.
You've got to turn the sun off.
Let's send some stuff to Jupiter.
It's better than poking at Uranus.
That's so true.
look.
Hey?
Don't drag us into the gutter, Andy
Sorry.
Griffiths.
It is Friday. That's acceptable.
It's acceptable on Friday.
That's our 1 per hour.
Have we got some classy music? Can we go into the Get This Book Club? I'm Jennifer Byrne. Welcome aboard. We want to talk about,
Jennifer.
Andy's the author of The Bad Book. To me, that is an excuse to talk about bad books. What do you want to see thrown on the Get This Book bonfire today? Before we get to that, Ed, you were saying off air that you've got some connection
Apparently.
to Graham Greene's The Quiet American that I just read recently.
Yeah, I once made out with Brendan Fraser.
There you go.
No, I at a party. No, well, apparently my father was a very shady character, but
Yeah.
apparently the Michael Caine character is partly based on that bad boy. My
so
dad.
the main character in The Quiet American is partly based on your dad.
Yeah, because his nickname was the Quiet Australian. He was over there doing a bit of the old Western dude, being a businessman.
In the NAM
Yeah. Got himself...
in the 50s.
Yeah, and 60s. Got himself nabbed for it.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going to have to follow this. That was quite interesting.
Not bad, is it, Tone?
It's almost the most interesting thing we've heard about anyone on the show.
And I used to own a rabbit that was in Watership Down, which is nice.
Yeah, right.
The Quiet Rabbit?
The Quiet Rabbit, yeah.
Well-
I'm going to throw that one, Tone. Watership Down.
You're going to throw Watership
Whoa.
down on the bonfire?
I'll join you.
Yes,
I'll join you.
boring.
And now Andy Griffiths is throwing it on the bonfire.
We have to
400
do it in year 10.
Yeah,
It's a very-
it's 400 pages of rabbits trying to get across a road. Who cares?
Very gory film, as I remember,
It is a bit gory.
for a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, Andy, I'm not trying to encourage you to slag off your contemporaries, but are there any books that you'd like to throw on the fire? Go overseas.
Well, in fact, I have thrown a book on the fire.
For real?
Yes. It was
Which
down
one?
at my parents' holiday house.
Yeah.
And you know how all the sort of books no one else wants collect in those shelves?
They certainly do. They certainly
And this
do.
was sort of I think it was like a Christian sort of fable story involving rabbits. And
Always.
squirrels and doing some good deed or something. And Jasmine, who's now 14, she loved this book. She just took a love to it.
Right.
And we had to read it over and over again. And my sisters and brothers-in-law, they all had to read it. And then one day we said, let's put it on the fire.
Make it watch.
And you know what? It wouldn't burn.
No, it
Wouldn't burn. Refused.
For quite a long time. But it did.
Okay, here's one I think that can go straight onto the fire. Nicole Richie's The Truth About Diamonds. Have you? This is a novel, Andy. Have you seen it?
No.
You'll find it in the literary novel section of your bookshop. A novel by Nicole Richie.
Yeah.
With an 8-page pic section in the middle of just shots of her coming out of nightclubs, looking glamorous. Did Graham Greene throw any of that in The Quiet American?
He did, actually.
Just staggering out of a club in Vietnam?
Michael Caine in a G. 8 pages.
Nonsensical.
Yeah,
I'm sure she hasn't read it.
No.
What was that one years ago? Naomi Campbell.
Oh,
The Swan.
Oh, the
yeah,
Swan.
that's
Yeah, throw it on. She admitted years later she'd never read a word of the book
Brilliant.
that she'd penned herself.
brilliant.
Fantastic. Mr. Mars and what needs to be burnt.
The entire series of Sweet Valley High.
Oh, don't
yeah.
get... No. Come on, Reg.
Nah, come on.
Why?
Well, they're the Pascal twins, right?
Yeah.
And they're the sort of sexy twins. My older sister used to read these things all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought, the covers seem so interesting when you're a 14-year-old boy. This seems like a world I might want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Blonde cheerleaders, twins.
Yeah.
Come on.
Tight jumpers.
Of course, but you open the page and they're just cavorting with princes in Europe and getting up to some sort of mistaken identity.
But they get it on with like the captain of the basketball team at some point.
Well-
And for a lanky man like myself, it looked like an attainable dream.
All right, maybe it's going to get the tongs out and rescue that from the fire. Just quickly, Andrew doing work experience here. He's still at school. Are there any books they're making you read at school that you'd like thrown on our bonfire, Andrew?
Good night, Mr. Tom.
Good Night, Mr. Tom. Don't know what it is, burn it.
Yeah, it's got to go.
Have you heard of Good Night, Mr. Tom?
I have, but I've never read it.
Okay.
G'day, Lewis.
G'day, guys. How you doing?
Excellent. What are you throwing on the pile?
Any book that has been turned into a movie.
Oh, any book? Because you feel they've all been ruined?
No. We don't need the book anymore. We've got the movie.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, Lewis. How do you feel about things going the other way? Because
Yeah.
the film Batman Forever came out, and now I've started reading the novelisation of the film. There's some real insights in there, stuff that I'd forgotten. How do you feel about that?
I'll have to take that into consideration.
All right.
Good to know you're not just chucking stuff on the fire willy-nilly.
Thank you, Lewis.
It's a big fire.
Lovely to talk to you.
Who's going next?
G'day, Matthew. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, Matthew?
I'm 14.
Oh, good stuff.
Fair enough.
What needs to go on the fire?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh!
Are you-
Making you read that at school, are they?
Yep.
Now,
Boring.
Yeah,
If
this,
you don't understand it.
well, this is a bit of a tough read when I had to read it when I was about 13 or 14.
yeah.
Matthew, are you having trouble with the fact it's meant to be all romantic, but there's no action in it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah,
There's
well,
a sword fight.
that's not what I meant, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, fair
yeah.
enough, typically. What about the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio getting around with the gun? I mean, surely that makes it more interesting for you.
Yes, they let us watch that. That was more interesting than the book.
There you
Okay.
go. See, Shakespeare just didn't have enough firepower.
Yeah. Steve, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
What's got to go?
Fahrenheit 451.
Is that not a book all about book burning, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you just want a self-perpetuating cycle of burnt literature.
Exactly, yeah, just keep it going, mate. Throw in some more fella.
Was that a book, though? I mean, I remember there was a movie.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was a book or not. I don't read. I just like pictures, mate.
Yeah,
There you go,
okay,
fair enough.
Is that a terrifying movie for you as an author, Andy, to see, people having books just dragged out and thrown on the bonfire? Not the sound effects bonfire today.
Yeah, no, I don't like to see books being burnt.
No.
I think that's where it all starts. you
Yeah,
know.
well, let's burn some more. Who's going next?
Finally, Viv, how are you?
I've got Mary Kate and Ashley, Two of a Kind. It's a twin thing. Now a major TV series.
Major, really?
Yeah, major.
Is that the one where they're detectives?
Are they detectives in that one?
I don't know. I don't think so. My friend gave it to me as a joke, but I think I actually got bored and read it once.
Now, is this the Olsen sisters when they were just sort of harmless, healthy-looking young girls?
Yeah, they look like they're about 12 and still normal, not looking like gremlins yet.
Yeah, not the skagged-out badger look favouring of late. Okay, well, it's quite a bonfire.
Selection.
I think we need to pull the grade down. Thanks to everyone who contributed to our Festival of Hate this afternoon. I've got the Zoo magazine out.
No sex in there.
Yeah, oh, God. Okay. Have you still got that drum queued up? The sort of, I want that Borscht Belt feeling in the studio today, if you could, Mr. Mars. And these are some sex facts from the Pub Ammo page.
Oh, these always freak me out.
Yeah, do they?
It's just like always, men in Argentina have 3 million sexual partners a year.
Oh, you mean like this one? Pakistani web users type the word sex into internet search engines more than any other nation.
Really?
Yeah, you can't think of anything to say without banging on that voice, can you?
No, I can't actually.
Get that turban off! It's not
I
breakfast.
feel a gotcha call coming on.
Okay. The current world record for the most female orgasms.
Can I guess?
Have a crack.
What, in a lifetime?
No, how would that be verified? No, it's in an hour.
Okay, well, 7?
No.
1 million?
Is that your record?
Nah, man, I'm like 2 bill something.
Yeah, well, no, you're not, because the record is 134. How did you achieve that, Richard? Okay.
Can I read you're a dude?
I'm not sure if I can read out any of these. The largest you-know-what...
How do they know she wasn't faking?
Well, 132 of them were verified real.
Okay, fair enough.
Richard's still providing stats on the remaining 2.
He can tell.
The largest you-know-what recorded for scientific purposes was just under 14 inches. There you go. Just put that on the record. Wow.
But that's for scientific purposes.
I know.
What about for recreational?
Fun lab. I don't know. I have been saying this since we started this program.
It's an amazing bar graph.
Yeah.
The human bar graph.
As we all go over to metric, people don't like it when, you hear miles anymore.
I don't understand what that is.
Say kilometres.
Yeah, please.
I noticed that still stays in inches. Whereas you'd think if they converted to metric, it'd be much more flattering. The figure would be higher. It does mystify me.
Yeah.
That we stick with inches in that area.
Really, Tone.
Okay. I don't know if I can
What's the conversion? Inches to centimetres?
I know. See? Richard, can you get onto that this evening, please?
1 inch is 2.5 centimetres.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Warwick Capper, if you'd like to call us in with the amended stats, we'd be happy to hear from you. Kevlar, post-it notes, super glue, cellophane, and photographs.
Oh, can I guess?
What do they all have in common?
Were they all invented by accident?
All invented due to laboratory blunders.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because I invented burning a table at my school down with a laboratory accident, and that hasn't caught on.
Maybe that's the solution to all of our problems, more laboratory accidents.
Well, imagine you don't want the accident when you're measuring the stuff.
You end up with Kevlar.
Oh, dear.
All right, I can feel...
Shouldn't measure with a knife. I'm an idiot.
I'm getting that kids are coming out of school.
Oh, sorry.
Or possibly already on holiday feeling.
Oh, dear.
The listeners.
Brats. Brats is awesome. So's the Saddle Club. Man, those brats, do they have stuff I want to buy.
The other day I mentioned during Talkback Mountain that when I was a kid I went on a school trip, this is in 1976, to the Coromandel Peninsula in New Zealand and somehow ended up, according to a classmate, reflected in a shop window in a movie they were shooting called Sleeping Dogs starring Sam Neill. If you just freeze frame it, apparently our entire class
reflected glory
can be seen in a shop window. Someone, of course, didn't you know someone would do it? Derek Bolly. He's got the movie across the Tasman, had it shipped over in a couple of days.
Good on you, Deza.
So he could run his own test. He's been through the sequence one frame at a time, Zapruder style. The only thing he could see that could possibly corroborate the story was that at 1 hour, 16 minutes and 10 seconds, there is a yellow school bus in the background at the left of frame with what might be construed as children standing alongside of it.
Okay.
Couldn't see any reflections in window during any whip pans or whatever you Tinseltown types were referring to. He can send us a screen grab if required. Derek Bolly of North Sydney. Very nice. So...
yeah, do send that.
Is that a film debut? Can I say that was my film debut?
Is it officially listed in IMDb?
Tony Martin construed as children.
I'm calling that a screen credit.
Take it. I once rode a giant bird onto the set of Agro's Cartoon Connection.
Brilliant.
Did you?
I kicked it in the ass.
Well, was this scripted or was
Well,
this...
because my mum was part of the Brisbane Olympic bid, which is the funniest piece of comedy ever staged in the world. They're like, come to Brisbane. We've got, Dreamworld.
Hang on a second. You're not paying out on our Brisbane listeners.
No, but let's just say that the 1982 bid to get the Olympics was a little ambitious.
And what was your mum's role in proceedings?
She had to try and get it over the line. She had to jazz it up. So one of the things she did is she put me in a T-shirt and I wrote a giant bird onto Agro's Cartoon Connection.
And that didn't seal the deal. Who got the Olympics that year?
Barcelona, I think, pipped us. They had 3 kids writing actual birds.
On the Guido's Cartoon Connection.
Connexione.
Have we got any prizes in this hour, Rich? What can we offer the listeners?
Lunch with Brian Burke or dinner and a strip show with Rupert Murdoch's King of Tabloid.
Doesn't sound like much of a carrot, does it? Dave Graney. Here's Dave.
That sounded quite good.
Okay, well, we'll be adding to the prize pool as the hour progresses.
We were talking melon camp off air, Dave.
Yeah.
And I was saying, it's cougar melon camp, and you said no, that he's...
It's interesting notion that he subtracted the cougar from his name, but you're saying perhaps he added the melon camp.
Well, I think that cougar was the most interesting thing about him. Maybe add some more animals as well. John Cougar, ferret, mongoose, melon camp. I mean, that's a good...
Since the successful advertising campaign featuring the
brand of booze or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought, I could get something in between Dave and Graney? I could crack something in there.
Yeah, perhaps that's a mistake I made.
Really?
Thank you.
Dave Ice Cube Graney. That'd be nice.
What about a professor?
Feeling I've wasted my life.
Put a professor on the front of your name, Dave, like Professor Longhair. What about Professor Dave Graney? Something like that.
Emeritus professor.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what I like is...
They're putting me up on the... what do you do with your program here? Put it up on the blocks.
On the blocks, yeah. There's a lot of shows up on blocks.
Tony, I didn't come in here. I didn't want to be put up on the blocks, but you put me up on the blocks.
Watch out
when you're on the blocks.
You feel very vulnerable.
No,
man.
you're in safe hands.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll put you in the discovery tank later.
I'm worried about Ed's intake of food since the show shifted. It was more of an elongated breakfast before. What would you call?
No, I'd call it second lunch now, Dave.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Do you still keep on with the elongated breakfast?
I do. Yeah.
So it's just all day.
I've invented another place to put porridge.
Because bedtime porridge, it's for people new to the
other
time
than
slot.
your mouth.
Ed's bedtime.
I've had a second mouth cut.
It saves time. The bedtime porridge took off. I mean, I've always been taught you shouldn't eat just before bed.
See, I've actually changed that because I was getting a bit of a gut from the bedtime porridge.
Really?
All right.
I was getting a touch cuddly. I was getting the Marsland overhang. So what I've got... So what I do now is I have a bowl of yogurt, Dave, with frozen fruit, frozen berries, if you will.
Yeah.
The trouble is that eventually you went and saw a doctor, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And what happened?
Oh, well, I've got to go back for the cameras.
Right.
I've got to go back for Tony's cameras.
Yeah, I've had all the cameras. My body is like the Big Brother house.
Absolutely right.
There's a site online where you can vote organs out of me. I've had every possible camera that can be stuck into you, but the gastroscopy is the least invasive of the cameras.
What's the most?
Doesn't go up the head of the penis then.
That's
one.
That's
my greatest fear.
That is the one you don't want, Dave.
I read too many books involving arcane cures for syphilis and gonorrhea. I haven't been to the doctor for so long.
I think they might have moved on, Dave. I don't know. When you walk in, it's not the first thing they do.
The great
I've
thing...
got a cold. Drop him. This is going to hurt.
Yes, usually it's hot mercury with a needle through the eye of the penis.
What's that solve?
Okay.
What would that solve?
It's known
the
as...
mercury kills you quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
In the furthest parts away from where the problem is.
But the camera you're talking about...
Your penis lives forever.
It's the penile cystoscopy. That's the process.
There it is.
And the doctor, you know what the doctor says? He goes, we're going to have to insert a small telescope. And I'm going, telescope? When you say small...
Yes. This was the...
How many crew are we talking?
Was this after the alien craft landed and you were in the large silver room?
Telescope? I'm thinking of the one from The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. That was enormous. I don't want that.
Usually the aliens put the telescopes up your ass. But
that is their go.
I know.
Yeah. It's a lot, because you imagine them flying here. This is a very long trip. It's going to be worth it. Wait till you see what we've got planned.
Tony, they usually pick on farmers and farm labourers. But They've picked an inner city
No,
radio philosopher.
It's great the aliens come all the way across the galaxy to join our booty bag.
That's exactly right.
The aliens on their sophisticated craft. What are we doing this time? More arse work, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
come
okay.
on.
Can't we blow something up just for once? Okay, we're here to talk seriously about music. Now, you're doing something very interesting. We've talked about it before, the Point Blank show.
Yeah.
This is you and no electronic amplification.
Nothing, Tony.
Not even a microphone. You're preparing for the post-technology era.
Yes, I am assuming that the world is going to end.
Yeah, good
and
idea.
It'll be like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
When times are tough, what do people turn towards, Tony?
Entertainment, of course.
Yes. All the real estate developers out there, the insurance salesmen will be dying for a laugh.
Yeah, so you're going to be there.
When the shithouse goes up in flames. So I'm doing a show at the Butterfly Club in South Melbourne.
Yes.
And it's no amplification, 50 people in the room. And I tell a heroic story of my journey across a square metre of stage.
Wow.
The many battles I fight, the blood and guts, the thunder, the railing against fate and fortune, the power.
Tales from the front line of the music
That's
caper.
right.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. Very interior and abstract. We hopefully take it to Sydney in December. We might do it at a warehouse up there and to Newcastle.
And what about our Brisbane listeners? Can they have a bite of this ash?
I don't know. Brisbane is demolished every 5 years and then new buildings put up. So it's hard to find Victorian-era dwellings put into
something small enough.
Cute little theatre, yes.
All
Perhaps if there's a cardboard box city up in Brisbane.
I think the nude car wash is empty at the
Yeah,
moment.
that'd be about rightly sized for that. Okay, we'll get on to that. We'll find you a venue in Brisbane,
in
Dave.
tough times, do not people want nude car washes?
Absolutely right.
Even though their cars can't go anymore.
They don't care. They push them in there.
Yeah.
All right, that's some serious music, but here we like to play Name This Tune, not where we play the tunes and you guess them, listeners, where you play them to us down the phone from your place and we attempt to identify them. Just to warm you up, Dave, Mr. Marsland has queued up a few tunes. I don't know whether you would be able to spot any of these because I think they're mostly from the Triple M computer.
Yeah, no worries.
These are totally random too.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, they're totally random choices from the computer. Selection number 1.
Oh, that's Heart Barracuda.
Oh, very good, very good.
Terrible flanged guitar.
Terrible.
Cute sisters. From Canada.
Yeah, got a point for that one. Selection 2, Richard.
Sex Pistols, Anarchy in the UK.
Is that what that is? Is that in the computer at Triple M?
That is here.
Wow, that's, when does that come
Steve
out?
Jones block chords, Paul Cook on the drums.
Oh, yes.
Steve Jones on bass.
Maybe the Spoon Man gets to bust that one out at night time. Selection 3, please, Richard.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh, that's a Delight.
Yeah.
Delight, beautiful.
It's a bass line sampled from Herbie Hancock's contribution to the movie about the photographer with David Hemmings.
Oh, Blow Up.
Blow Up.
Oh,
yes.
yes. Okay, good. Okay, this is good. We've really got to stump him. What have you got there, Richard?
Oh, it's Linkin Park or something, isn't it? Or Aqua. Who?
No,
Who
that
is
is our own Ed Cavalier up at the Snow
Actually,
on karaoke.
I was in a shop the other day and they played that song that you do a mockumentary of. Your body is a wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the supermarket and I said to the little girl with braces, that's Ed Cavalier making fun of that. She goes,
Oh, wow.
Did she know who we were?
I'm afraid not.
Yeah,
perhaps she's listening in the new time
Testing
slot,
well.
though.
Okay. Ed loves to hear when the ladies are interested.
No, Richard, I heard that. We don't need to hear that.
All right.
Oh.
We're not going to play. What have you got there?
What
Come
was
on, just push the button.
Come on.
It's the one that you were just...
Your body is a
Yeah, there it is.
That's good, yeah.
For people
and
new.
who is the original Ron?
Does it matter? Really?
He knows
you
about
have,
It's John Mayer.
Oh, right.
Just want to play the whole
And
thing.
does that work with the dames?
No. I've only got one pickup line, Dave.
Right, yeah.
So you're a girl at a bar.
Yeah, please.
Here it comes.
Hello. You got to
Yeah.
respond, Dave.
Oh, hello, yeah.
I've got Voxtel.
Oh.
Most
does that work?
No, there's more.
Oh, sorry.
I've
Do
got
you really?
most of the channels.
Ah. Fashion Channel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's do that.
It goes on forever.
Here's how it really plays. Richard, you're the girl. I'm your cavalier. Okay, you ready? Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm up the back on Thank God.
It's kind of impressive, I guess.
Oh,
Can I see that on Foxtel? What a pity you don't have it.
All right, here's Richard when he meets a girl in a bar.
God.
Have a drink. This tastes funny. Have you put something in this?
All right, call us up. We're just giving you a chance to queue up anything you've got at your house. Try and queue it up at the chorus.
Yep.
G'day, Rob.
Yeah, hi.
Go all right, mate. Play the tune.
All right, here we go.
Crikey.
That's how I should.
When I was 17, it was a very good year.
Is that Jimmy Durante? It was a very good year or something?
It was a very good year.
Rob, are you there?
Yeah.
What did you think it was, Dave?
Jimmy Durante?
No, nowhere near it.
Is that William Shatner?
It is.
Oh, William Shatner doing the Frank Sinatra standard.
It was a very good year / Hamlet.
Well, you're a winner, Rob. Hello, Michael.
How you going?
Excellent. Lay out the challenge.
You ready? Here we go.
Who is that? Peter Gabriel or something?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he doing? Slave to my knob or?
That's the B-side, I think. Okay, the artist Peter Gabriel.
Oh, Slap the Monkey. That's the one. Shock the Monkey.
No. What was the tune called?
Pull its ears off.
Digging in the dirt.
Oh.
Digging in the dirt. I think I've even heard that one on the M's. All right, give that man a prize.
All right, Michael. G'day, Silo. How are you?
Not bad, guys.
How are the Ducks today?
Ducks are all right.
Okay, good to hear. Yep. All right, lay out the challenge, my friend.
Has it started?
No, that's it. That's not Silo.
Okay.
Oh.
Would you like to guess, Dave, what that was?
I think that would be the rapping Jew with Sue the Bastards.
Is it the rapping Jew?
It's not.
Who is it, Silo?
Gangster.
Oh, Gangster, of course. I was going to suggest Rappin' Rodney. I don't know if you've seen that 12-inch lately. All right, what prize would you like, sir?
I'll go to the Barge Ass thing.
The Barge Ass DVD.
That's a very funny DVD.
On DVD.
There's so many fart jokes in that, Tony.
There are, but high quality,
looking
top
back,
shelf.
are you happy with that? Celebrating?
Yeah, some of them I'd like to remaster it and make some of the, some of the farts are sadly in mono, Dave, and that still hurts to this day.
5.1 surround, you could really go to town on that, can you?
THX, the audience is listening with a peg on its nose. Ben Lee, we all know that one. Love Me Like the World Is Ending. Dave Graney is here seeking to be stumped by listeners who have their own radio stations at home, their own full day of scheduling. Who's got something queued up for us?
Who was that? Ben Lee, was it?
Yeah, that was Ben Lee. See, you should know that one.
He's a bit of an innovator as a public persona, don't you think?
Yes, he's nice now. I think that's his thing.
Yeah. But his warmth towards himself is
palpable,
rich, palpable. Yeah,
fair enough.
Usually, performers, like we're doing with the listeners, letting them come in to the space.
That's right. Yeah.
We are appearing vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Letting some areas unfilled. Please come in. Welcome, strangers.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying Ben Lee, there's just no room for anyone else?
Super saturated.
Okay.
With his benitude. It seems to me, as an observer.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. He's not leaving crumple zones.
I'm not saying it in a negative
No, not at all.
Just making
observation.
And it seems to be a winning.
It's working for us.
It does work. All right.
I'm just worried about our civilization in some ways, I guess. Drawing a long bow, but...
Well, maybe you've just got to start pushing people away.
That's
the way you've got to go.
And I didn't think Ben Lee was going to end the world, but now you've got me convinced.
Perhaps he's playing a long game. In the future, he'll go into a bit of a sulk.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah, like to descend into Morrissey territory.
Yeah. And then rise again.
Dean Guy style.
Yes.
I like it.
Okay, we're learning so much today. Who's on the line to stump us, Ed?
G'day, John.
G'day there, guys.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
John, welcome aboard. Lay out the challenge.
Here we go.
Name.
Oh,
what was that?
Had that started. I thought it was a broken CD or something. Is that Bow Wow Wow with...
No, I'll give you a bit more. Hang
yeah,
on.
there's
Okay, here we go.
That's Spandau Ballet.
Well, hang on.
The Cramps, Kiss My Ass.
No, you're going to have to put us out of our misery, wasn't it?
That's Old Man Emu.
Here we go.
John Williamson.
Can you get it now?
No, it just sounds like you're hitting some pots and pans. What is it, sir?
What is it, John?
It's the Moodist live in London, 1984.
Look.
It's Dave Graney himself. His old band, the Moodists, live in London. You couldn't recognise your own work there, Dave.
That's a lie.
Well, it was speeded up 2 times.
You speeded it up.
Rotten.
John, you sneaky John.
It was your own work speeded up so that we could end on time for once on the show.
I'm comfortable with this letting other people into
really?
this
is what happens.
Suddenly Ben Lee is right.
Ben Lee is right, yes. You must run in and take over the whole...
Absolutely.
Well,
yes.
I don't think we can top that one.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Marsden.
Very funny.
Telling me that we're out of time.
Get this at the new time of 2 o'clock.
Or in Adelaide, 3 o'clock.
On the Triple M Network.